Here we are at the login screen. Let's log in. Now once users are logged in, you can see the environment loading. Once users are logged in, the environment offers them a choice from a range of different male and female avatars, they're not shown here, and a wardrobe of items to clothe it that are drawn from a range of different cultural and fashion items. Here you can just see one example of an avatar. Each avatar, when we start, has its own in-world bot that hovers nearby. It's able to supply a number of different messages, directions, help, clues or advice. It can either do that automatically or it can do it on request from the avatar. And all of those can be made context sensitive and location sensitive, and we can program them to give, for example, a welcome message. So let's click start and we'll arrive at the landing place.
Welcome to the Citizens Project. Please choose your destination.
Welcome to the Citizens Project. Please choose your destination. Okay. At the moment, this particular location is relatively empty, but I'm going to add a number of familiarisation exercises here and explanations of what participants are being asked to do in the virtual world. And we could do similar things for the virtual world we want to use in our project. The avatars have all the usual avatar virtual world abilities. They can walk, they can run, although the run on this one's a little strange at the moment, and they can fly. And within predetermined limits, we can allow them to do this as set within the geography of the environment. Here you can see it's just a small island space. There's a more sophisticated upgrade due to be applied soon to avatar movement, so that should help improve things and make them a bit more fluid. Now the virtual world can support up to 100 avatars at any one time and a number of different locations. There are a number of different buttons that you can see that appear in this environment, and at the moment they inhabit the corner of the screen, or the corners of the screen, but they could just as easily be attached to objects, or be signposts or instructions. For example, one could be a signpost saying click me, that when it was clicked could then show the avatar a scenario, a helpful hint, provide the avatar with an artifact that they need to complete a task, or teleport them somewhere else in the virtual world. Bottom right in this location, you see the chat button. This allows for in-world text messages to be written by the avatars, and that's shown to all the other avatars who are in-world at the time. The environment, date and timestamps these behind the scenes. So if we go in here and we say hello, there it is. And when we said hello, we press enter. There we go. And as you can see, those date and timestamps appear there. Now those are recorded in the background, and those can actually be used for us, exported and used for future analysis. The dwellings option, top left here, is a village setting where avatars can choose from an inventory and make a home for their avatar to live in. It's down at the moment because it's been updated. So let's go to another one of my areas. Let's look at the debating area. This is a location that's had quite a lot of development so far, but it isn't finished yet. We arrive at the top of a smallish hill. This environment includes ambient sounds that change with the avatar's location, and it'll soon include wildlife and weather, as well as changing lighting during the world's virtual day. Incidentally, notice the online users button on the bottom of the screen here. That shows us that at the moment only Stuart's in world. But that tells each avatar who else is in world, somewhere or other, and it can be useful if you want to message one or more avatars, say to arrange to meet them somewhere if you want to work together on the project's tasks. Similarly, the snap button at the top here is used by avatars in my project to capture images. in-world events, locations, or images of themselves, the avatar. Might be a useful feature if we want to record end-state solutions that students reach or mark their progress with learning content. We can record how far they've progressed with a learning task, for example. These arches that you see, there are 3 of them actually, we can only see 2 at the moment, one's further down the hill. These are examples of staging posts. That is, they're artifacts that can be made to respond different ways when approached by the avatar or when clicked by the user. They can be anything. I'm going to use them to provide panels that offer tasks to the avatar to train users in different activities they'll need to master at different times, ready to interact with scenarios they're going to meet later on. For now, they're turned off, so they're just objects. Let's hide that. If we walk the avatar downhill, we'll eventually, there's the 3rd arch, we'll eventually arrive at the main debating space. Whoops, let's go down here, that way. There's an example of changes in the ambient sound as we get, in this, for example, this instance, nearer the water. Okay, there's the debating space over there. Here we are. Here's the debating space. This can be programmed and switched to different configurations so that different types of communication format for debate can be set up. Informal, parliamentary, soapbox, that kind of thing. The white screens that you see here, these 2, those can be used to show static images or videos that prompt discussion or to present learning tasks. Might be text, might be images of web pages. And these can be designed, we can pre-prepare them and upload them into the environment, and they can be summoned at will in real time by the experimenter. That's you. The clocks that you can see, there's one. These I've included because they can be used to show the elapsed time that might be allowed for timed tasks or debate contributions from different avatars or groups, like you might find in a conference. And in my project, I've allowed for the use, that's a bit noisy, let's move away from that. In my project, I've also allowed for the use of a particular feature to signal the end of debates or to tell avatars that the activity is about to change to something different, or to tell them to teleport to another location. In this particular case, it's a steam whistle. There we go. So, I think we need to be able to unpick a number of issues for both students and academic staff if we're going to use these environments. I'm sure we can all think of plenty of them, but I thought I'd put together some initial suggestions together with some ideas for how we might capture necessary data that might allow us to evidence our findings. So, for example, supposing some of the data we wanted to collect was the level of student engagement and motivation. Well, we might do that by asking them to complete a self-report, and this environment includes a diary. It's kept in the dwelling house that participants can complete when they're in their own dwelling. We could include measures of flow. Supposing we wanted to collect data on how the virtual world settings differently experienced by students compared to, say, established or traditional experiences of teaching and learning, well, we could use case studies. We could use the diary again. We could feature that as something that we set up as an in-world discussion. We could run it as an exit interview. Supposing We wanted to find out whether there are ways in which the virtual world experience is felt to be less successful for learning than established or traditional learning experiences. That might be something we might want to do. We might want to know what it is about the two kinds of experience that make this the case. Well, again, that could be an in-world discussion, or we might use the diary for that. We might want to know are there particular specific affordances that are presented by a virtual world that give students better or more efficient learning. And that again could be an in-world discussion to identify items, or it could be a survey that we set up to prioritise them once they've been determined. We might want to know what the different aspects of knowledge, teaching and learning are that we can actually best assess in this kind of environment, or evaluate it or measure it, in order to work out what this technology and our particular use of it should best look like. And that might be a discussion for our own group meetings. Another thing that it seems to me we might want to look at are the implications of our findings for teacher pedagogy. That again could be a discussion in our group meetings. It could be an in-world discussion by students. It could be the diary. It could be an exit interview. We might want to know what the implications of our findings are for learning theory, and how, and indeed what, our project can contribute to the further development of learning theory, and that again could be a discussion for our group meetings. Okay, I hope that's been helpful, and look forward to seeing you next
Welcome
time.
to the Citizens Project.
Welcome to the
Please
Citizens.
choose your destination.
Welcome to the Citizenships Project. Please choose your destination. Okay, goodbye.